Many Nigerians at this time, things seem to be tough. And if you ask many on the streets how the current president has performed, there might be a lot of negative responses because of the hardship being experienced. And they also will probably be quick to mention factors that have compounded their daily struggles, such as cost of petrol, rising prices of foodstuff and other commodities, as well as the exchange rate and cost of transportation, as well as other areas. On the other hand, though, and it's important we balance this, the administration of President Bola Tinubu, since he assumed office 6 months ago, has been working hard to secure partnerships, sign deals and agreements that aim to boost the economy in the long run. But results may not be immediate, the government says. And, this, of course, leaves people yearning for resolutions, quick resolutions to their present plight. And now we have joining us to talk about the president's development drive, as well as review his performance since May the 29th, Sunday Adenoga. And of course, he's the chairman of the Boot Party. He was also the presidential candidate of Boot Party. We thank you very much for coming in. We don't have so much time, but, 6 months down, what are your thoughts? When you look at the administration of President, the renewed hope agenda of the president?
Well, to be candid, I'm going to say that in the last 6 months, we've got a president that seems to be interested in solving our problem. Of course, there are a lot of symptoms people are going through at this point in time that is not great, and we're going to feel it. The concern at the moment for quite a lot of people, and for those of us in the opposition, is that did they actually have the stamina, the capacity to actually deliver on some of these issues? So if you give a good example, the Q2 economic data shows that our economy grew by 2.5%. So if you compare that to 2022, it's lower, But of course, poverty is increasing in the land. There is no doubt about it. And our view is this. It seems there is so much gulf between the poor in Nigeria, in our dear country, and the government, and which is not supposed to be the case. Government should primarily serve the interests of the poor. It's not about serving just the rich in the society. But of course, like you rightly said, there have been a lot of improvements, let's put it that way, that's been made, removing the subsidy, floating the currency. But it's going to affect a lot of people, which we've already seen, we're already been affected. But the key concern here is this. How are these gains from subsidies going to be diverted to ensuring that the poor in our society can feel, for once, the impact of government? When you go out there, as a chairman of a political party, we're a grassroots people, and we talk to people at the local level, and the feedback we get from them is like, the world wants to end tomorrow. But we keep giving them hope. But in my view, what I've always told people is this. Obviously, we need to pass through this stage, because what's been happening before now as a nation is that we just have subsequent government who just come in and tidy things up in terms of just touching the surface and not willing. There was no that courage and the desire to solve the problem that is really at hand. And that's just what makes this government different. But of course, you should excuse people when they have that fear that, oh, are you sure we're not going to go through that same route again? But I keep telling people, one of the things that we hope to see is that by the time the business community continue to have the confidence in the economy, what's going to naturally happen is that there will be more opportunity for people to get jobs, then revenue for people individually will increase. And as a result, even employers who wants to just take about 90% of the profit of their business will start thinking that, oh, okay, I need to share part of this with my employees, because that's what happened in the Nigeria that we have at this point in time.
I actually am surprised that an opposition will talk like this. Why? Because when you say an opposition, like the PDP has reacted to the budget and calling it a padded one, and you are here saying that the government is genuinely interested in the plight of the people, Why?
No, well, I wouldn't say, yeah, I would say, you know, the policy is clear. You know, the concern, I always tell people that I have what I call a cautious hope, you know, kind of, I put it on quote, because if we want to stay where we are, we keep going, and the government they can just say, oh, let's keep the dollar floating the way we used to have it. But we know we're all deceiving ourselves if we keep doing that. But someone has come in and told us that, look, guys, this is not the way this thing should go. But of course, there needs to be key indicators that are going to be showing to us that, look, what your policy is actually delivering to the people. But that is not yet happening. And that's why I have what I call a cautious hope, a concern there. But nobody, no any opposition out there that is going to say, oh, probably those policies are not actually right for the people. Yeah.
All right. So, unfortunately, we've run out of time. I personally would have wanted to, explore this conversation further, but we don't have that much time, but on the other hand, now we've gotten another cue to continue, and the next question for me is on the issue of fuel subsidy, because I know that at the time when you were contesting, you were wooing wooing voters. You, unlike the major presidential candidates, APC, the Labour Party, the PDP, all spoke about the need to remove subsidy, but you didn't. Yeah. You said you would rather it stayed on. Yeah. So, but this is a president who has, taken that bold step to remove it from day one. And of course, we are still living with the effects of it. It's been harsh. But then the government says it is a step that ought to have been taken way longer, and which will naturally ease out. So I wanted to, marry your thoughts. Yeah,
the policy. Now. Yeah, the policy was clear, and we're all different people in terms of our approach to things. If I'm the president of Federal Republic today, obviously I'm not going to do it like President Tinubu, but that's up to me. My policy is clear. Is that, look, at that point of Nigeria, we can't just take out subsidy. Instead, my policy is that we will have those subsidies for a period of time, just maybe about a year into government.
Despite what we were incurring.
Yeah, we're going to keep it for a year, and there is a purpose for it. We all already see the impact of immediate subsidy removal on people is huge. And let me tell you this, what I feel continue to happen in Nigeria when government makes such bold decisions, or rash, if I can use that word, is that the government lost control of subsidy itself. And the people are the one being punished for it. Now, that is the message I get, that the government has lost control of what subsidy is all about. But I come from a control background, and I think I have the confidence to be able to say that within a year, we can establish how much fuel we actually use in our country, Nigeria. What we had before, we don't have control of it. We had stories of our fuel finding its way to as far as Sudan, and it's crazy. But of course, you can't blame an individual for that. Well, probably all those who are involved are probably responsible for all of it. So that was my policy, that after about a year, then we gradually, gracefully take out subsidy. But of course, when some people challenged and said, oh, President Tinubu removed subsidy on the first day, I said, he didn't tell you he's not going to remove it from the first day either. So he said, I'm going to remove subsidy. And the question then was that, why did he remove it from first day? But I said, well, that is his agreement. He said he's going to remove subsidy, and he has taken it out. But you didn't vote for me because you feel like, oh, this guy is going to keep subsidy. Let me just put it that way. But my thoughts, and I still keep on that, I would have done it differently. Yeah.
All right. Sunday Adenuga, we thank you very much. The chairman of the Boot Party, presidential candidate of the same Boot Party. Thank you very much for speaking with us on TVC Breakfast. I know you came from far, and that we must thank you for. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.